Assalamu alaikum. I'm sure many of you saw the Jihad on Litter that was done by Sheikh Azwar Rashid. Brilliant project. May Allah reward him and everything he's done. We need a lot more of these sort of projects. There was something that came up out of it which made me think and analyze a certain situation. Something that I think many of us have reacted in a similar way in the past. But there's certain times when some of my non-Muslim friends have said I've got overly angry or overly upset or take their criticism of Islam as in their false beliefs, I suppose. That may seem like small things, but I seem to take it a bit too far and such. And so I wanted to address that. I mean, when you look at what happened with Sheikh Azwar Rashid, one of the things he said was that the litter, or most of the litter that was being thrown down, was done by Muslims. This was a self-criticism of the community in order to improve. I'm not from Birmingham, so I don't know not much about the situation of Muslims there, but this was something, it was during Ramadan, and he was just making a point that we need to do better. The far right got hold of this video and then started posting it, or that clip, under that bit of it, under the headline, Muslim admits that Muslims are the problem, or Muslims leader admits that Muslims are the problem. And this is something that we have a real issue with. We can't self-criticize too openly or outside of our community without the fear that, you know, we'll be judged 10 times more than anyone else, and it will be used to contribute towards Islamophobia. Sometimes my non-Muslim friends might think I'm overreacting over these little things. But when we're being killed in Palestine, being killed in Arakan, being killed in Kashmir, being oppressed in China and locked in camps over there, you know, we're being arrested at airports, even in Europe, and, you know, all the things that we're going through, none of this can happen without Islamophobia. It wouldn't be allowed. I mean, you couldn't do what they're doing to Palestine to most other people. It's because they're Muslims, and Islamophobia is what's allowed them to get away with it to some degree, at least brought enough people on board that they can get away with it. And so we need to analyze that. Now, from a secular perspective, we could say, yes, we shouldn't have to, we shouldn't be held to a higher standard, and certainly others should not hold us to a higher standard. But from an Islamic angle, we should be holding ourselves to a higher standard. We have Quran, we have the Sharia, we have the understanding of Islam, we have Islam in our hearts. So we should be trying to be the best of humanity. Dawah is the best example, and that's what we should be trying to show. But, and I think I'll leave with a story. I think you can take from it what you want, but for me this story relates quite well. It goes back to the time of the Prophet, may Allah's peace and mercy be upon him, and he was going around Mecca. This is before the Hijrah, and he came across an elderly lady, and the elderly lady said to him, basically she was leaving Mecca. She didn't know who he was, but she said she was leaving Mecca. And he said, why, do you not like it here? And she said, no, I love Makkah, but you see there's this man called Muhammad, and he is causing all this trouble. He's dividing the city, and I just can't bear the division anymore. I just want to get out. You know, I've lived here my whole life. I love the city, but I just can't handle this anymore. So rather than telling her who he is, he decided to take another approach. And he said, okay, you're an elderly lady. If you're determined to leave, he tried to persuade her, but said, if you're determined to leave, allow me to carry your things for you. So she was like, okay. Takes her out the city. All the way she's moaning and complaining, Muhammad this, Muhammad that, you know, cursing away. She's so angry. I mean, she's leaving the city because of him. So obviously you can see how angry she is at him, and it just doesn't stop. Finds her somewhere nice. He's like, allow me to pitch your tent for you, because obviously you're an elderly lady, you're tired just to walk in. So he pitches the tent for her. Have you got any food? She says yes, but when he sees how much, he's like, let me get you a bit more. Goes and gets some more, comes back. It's like, you look tired, allow me to cook the food for you and make you something nice. she's all right. She's busy cursing him and bad mouthing him, not knowing obviously who she's bad mouthing him to. And then in the end, he's when everything's okay, he says, all right, I will leave you, but I will come back to check on you another time. And she's like, oh wait, I have to apologize. All this time I've been so angry at this man Muhammad. I didn't even ask your name. And I think you can guess how the story goes. He says, I'm that one that you've been insulting all this time. And she just turns and says, you know, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his messenger. So take from that what you want.